We thank you so much for watching Law School Made Easy at Law School Made Easy 256. We want to go to family law and we want to discuss the orders you seek when you file the petition of a divorce. What are some of the orders that you seek when you file a petition on divorce? If you want to separate from your partner, what are some of the orders you can ask court to enforce during and after the proceedings of a divorce matter? So, also allow me to inform you that we run two channels: Law School Made Easy and Voices of the Bar, where the legal world speak. So we ask you to subscribe on both channels, Law School Made Easy and Voices of the Bar. Where you don't find a video on Law School Made Easy, it is actually possible that that video is on Voices of the Bar, or it is on Law School Made Easy. So let's now discuss the orders one can seek when you file for a divorce. Uh, Remember, we have ably discussed that divorce is the last thing that courts want to give people. Divorce is not actually promoted in our courts. Our courts try as much as they can to look into the matters of divorce. That's why we have mediations. You file a divorce, but you are sent to mediations, such that at least we try to see that divorce does not occur. So the first order you seek for is the dissolution of marriage, that you want to end. Remember, we said divorce is the permanent end of a marriage. You bring a marriage to an end. So dissolution of a marriage is one of the orders that you want to seek when you file a petition for divorce. Look at the case of Mayambala versus Mayambala. Mrs. Mayambala, one of her orders was for a dissolution of a marriage, that their differences were irreconcilable. And because they were irreconcilable, she could no longer stay in the same household with Mr. Mayambala. So you seek for a dissolution of marriage. Another order that goes under dissolution of the marriage is a decree nisi. When you apply to court for a divorce, they don't just dissolve the marriage. Remember, we said that marriage is sacred, that courts do not want you to leave that marriage until it is certified that your differences are irreconcilable. Now, another order is a decree nisi. Court, after listening to all your evidence, after appreciating the evidence you have actually given, so now court will issue what we call a decree nisi, or some people call it a decree nisi. Now this one under section 36, it court gives you 6 months to see that if the two of you can reconcile and get back together again. So in those 6 months, court will expect you to reconcile or not reconcile. But if you reconcile, the better. Court will be happy that the two have actually reconciled. So it is a period of 6 months. Some of the things that show that you have reconciled is having SI, sexual intercourse. The moment in the 6 months after court has listened to your case, then they give you the issue a decree nisi. The moment you have sexual intercourse in between that period, then you guys can no longer get a divorce. You have gotten back together. That is how much SI or sexual intercourse is very important in marriage. Sex is very important in marriage. Then, where all those things don't happen, then we have a third order, which is now a decree absolute. This one now permanently dissolves the marriage. Permanently dissolves the marriage. That the moment the 6 months elapses, the mover of the petition is supposed to go to court, to move court again, to issue a decree absolute. This is a permanently putting an end to the marriage. The moment a decree absolute has been issued, then marriage has been brought to an end. So the first step to dissolution of a marriage is a decree nisi, 6 months, and then after a decree absolute, which is a permanent dissolution of a marriage. Note, after the 6 months, if you take long to go back to move court to dissolve the marriage, to give you a decree absolute, court may not may dismiss that case if you take unreasonable time. For example, there's a case I've forgotten the parties, but this woman was given a decree nisi, and she spent 4 years minus going 4 years minus going back to ask for the decree absolute. And when she went there after the 4 years, the case was dismissed. Okay, so unreasonable time, really, courts will be made to believe that the issues they discussed were not urgent, they were not those in the category of irreconcilable differences. So it means you were not serious about the petition that you took to court. Then a fourth order, we have the alimony, pendit lit. Alimony means taking care. That amount of alimony is given to women, but if you look at section, I think 23 of the Divorce Act, it talks about alimony pendit lit. This alimony that you are going to take care of the woman, you continue to take care of a woman during the process of the petition, during the process of the divorce. So a woman can request for alimony, for money to take care of herself as we listen to the divorce, simply because, one, she was solely depending on you. So she will take up that alimony. Now, in this case, this alimony which is given during the process of divorce should not exceed 1/5 of the money's revenue. Should never exceed 1/5 of the money's revenue. So that is alimony. So this is also one of the orders a woman can seek for if we come to issues of divorce. Then we have permanent alimony, that even after dissolution of marriage, the court may be moved to make an order to permanently take care of this person. They have your children and others. So, and that money can be given in weekly, monthly, yearly, or quarterly, depending on the directions or the directives given by court. So permanent alimony is also in there as an order you can seek after the dissolution of marriage. You still have to take care of the woman. So there is a case there, Kaziwe, one day, Kaziwe versus Kaziwe. Kaziwe v. Kaziwe is a very interesting case. Mr. Kaziwe, being the man, was asking for alimony. Very interesting. I urge colleagues to read that case and try to appreciate it. But also, that case, we shall discuss it when we are discussing the names, rights to use a name after marriage has been dissolved, that who should use your name. Can you retain the name, or you should not retain the name of your spouse that you acquired during marriage? So it's also locus cascas when it comes to that area. Now, the other order you can seek for during a divorce petition is the custody of the children. You can seek for the custody of children. Who is going to stay with the children? Who is in better position to provide for the children? So courts will use its discretion to decide on the custody of the children. But of course, all these points, you give reasons why you need them. There must be serious reasons why you want these orders to be moved by the court. Custody is very important. I know when you reach second semester, second year, second semester, you'll be discussing children. Then you come across principles like the welfare principle, best interests of the child. Those things are very paramount, are very important in determining the custody of a child. So that we shall discuss when we get to second semester. But for now, we are saying you can ask for custody of the child. Who is going to take care of the child? Look at the case of Mayambara versus Mayambara, where the woman alleged that Mayambara was beating her, cruelty. So there's no way court would decide to give the custody of the children to Mr. Mayambara because he was cruel, he was harsh. We don't need to bring up our children in such environments. So that is what we mean by custody. You have to seek for custody of the children. You ask court that as we take on this, I would love to stay with the children, and you give reasons why you love to stay with the children. Then the other order is the maintenance order. Of course, we have discussed it, but who is going to take on the maintenance? And also we have division of property, matrimonial property and other property acquired. If you have property you acquired before this marriage, and you maybe signed a prenuptial agreement, you have property you signed, you acquired before the marriage, during the marriage, and you feel you have a share in it, you can ask court to help you in determining who takes which share, who takes what in terms of the property. So you have that chance to ask court that in this marriage, their property I was found with, their property we acquired as husbands and wife. How do we go about this property? How do we distribute the property? So distribution of the property acquired during marriage also becomes very important. So you must ask for that order so that court can either grant it or not. Then we have restraining orders. Restraining orders. In case there has been domestic violence, courts will issue restraining orders. For example, that do not approach in this perimeter, do not meet this woman. If you want to do this, because there has been gross domestic violence. So court will issue a restraining order not to meet one another. It is at court's discretion to issue if you bring it to court's attention. Colleagues, whatever you bring to court's attention, court will have an answer to all that you put before it. If you don't bring things to court's attention, courts cannot assume that you are going through a certain situation when you have not brought it to the court's attention. So there are restraining orders in case of domestic violence, relationship, marriages. So court will issue orders to ensure that your safety is catered for, you're safe, and there is no more harm that is about to happen to you. And very many other orders. So we have discussed the following orders. We have discussed the decree nasi, the decree absolute, alimony. We have discussed maintenance, custody, restraining orders, distribution of property, dissolution of a marriage, and very many others. So I urge you to read extensively and try to apply all these cases. There are many cases. Bariamuleba case, Chintu Chintu, Kazibwe Kazibwe, Mayambala Mayambala, many cases that discuss most of these orders. So that, also there is the order of costs of the petition. You can ask for cost for the money you have spent during this whole process. So we thank you so much for watching Law School Made Easy at Law School Made Easy 256. We also thank you for watching Voices of the Bar, where the legal world speaks. Subscribe, share, and keep liking our videos. Until next time, thank you.